Both the iPhone and the Galaxy are famous for having amazing cameras, but Vivo did a Hyundai-like blow-up and went from being just a random brand to being recognized worldwide with one of the best smartphone cameras on the market right now. But just how good is Vivo's game? Well, here we have the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and the Vivo X200 Ultra, and we're going to put them head-to-head against our Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II to see just how close these phone cameras have come to a real professional camera. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com, and thanks to INIU for sponsoring this video. For our camera comparisons, we always award points with the maximum number depending on the number of devices in the test. Since this comparison involves 3 devices, the maximum score for each category is 3. We'd also like to add that we always evaluate the photos and videos using a calibrated monitor. So as always, we'll start off with standard wide photos as we feel that's the mode people use most frequently. The iPhone packs a 48 megapixel main camera, Vivo comes with 50 megapixels, and the Galaxy steps it up with 200 megapixels. For aperture, Vivo offers the biggest at f1.69, while for sensor size, both the iPhone and Vivo are tied with a 1/1.28-inch sensor. Jumping into our first shot, you can immediately see that compared to the Lumix, Vivo is very punchy in colors and very social media ready, though it's not really true to life. The iPhone is more natural, but has a slight green tint, and the pink from the neon sign is just gone. The Galaxy is the most precise, with that neon sign looking very close to the one in the Lumix shot. Moving indoors, colors from both the iPhone and the Lumix are a bit too punchy, with reds being especially intense. Both Vivo and the Galaxy have a more true-to-life rendition of the scene, and they also capture plenty of detail in the darker areas. Next, let's take a look at a few ultra-wide examples. Ultra-wide is a great mode for capturing more of the scenery in your photos. For these kind of shots, the iPhone packs a 48 megapixel camera, while both Vivo and the Galaxy carry 50 megapixel ones. Both the iPhone and the Galaxy have the widest field of view at 120 degrees, though for sensor size, Vivo is an absolute beast with the same Sony sensor here as in its main cam. This time around, the iPhone makes me look just far too yellow. Vivo's photo is extremely sharp, but the green and orange tones are a bit too saturated. Samsung's photo looks very natural, but the color temperature is a bit cold. Indoors, the iPhone once again has a rather warm color balance and green tint. Vivo and the Galaxy deliver similar photos, though Vivo really desaturated the wooden floor. That said, neither of the two have completely accurate colors. So we've come to portrait mode, which is one of my personal favorites. Let's see which one of these gives us the best details while also having great edge detection. Here, it was apparently Vivo's turn to make my skin look yellow. And even though the edge detection is amazing with my hair, it didn't realistically blur my arm. The Galaxy has better skin tones and its edge detection looks more realistic, but the iPhone definitely has the best background blur and colors, especially for my black dress. Switching over to the telephoto lenses, all photos look really good, but they also have small shortcomings. For example, the iPhone's photo is a bit over-sharpened. My arm is a touch too bright in Vivo's shot, and the Galaxy's image looks a little flat. And of course, the Lumix photo really shows off that sweet depth of field that only a pro camera can truly produce. It is time for some selfies, which means it's time to challenge the front cameras. I will also be testing out the video and audio. Flipping these phones around, we find 12 megapixel cameras on both the iPhone and the Galaxy, while Vivo steps up with a 50 megapixel sensor. As for focal length and aperture, the iPhone comes with the best specs on paper at 23mm and f1.9 respectively. For outdoor shots, Vivo has an extremely yellowish tone that makes my skin look a little weird. Both the iPhone and the Galaxy look almost identical with very minimal white balance variations, and they both offer sharp detail. In low light, Vivo once again makes me look kind of like a Simpson. The Galaxy offers a nice shot with not a lot of noise, but the color is actually too cold. The iPhone does capture the right scene colors, but it has the most noise out of all of these shots. Now, for front camera video, all phones can equally output 4K 60 frames per second video, but as before, we stick to 4K 30 FPS for our testing, and while you take a look at the video and audio quality, let me tell you about our sponsor, INIU. This is the brand new INIU Pocket Rocket P50. It is a tiny 10,000 milliamp hour power bank with 45 watts fast charging. It only weighs 160 grams, which is actually lighter than that Galaxy S25 Edge, and the best thing about it is that it's so compact, you can easily fit it into your pocket. It's built with Tiny Cell Pro for ultra compactness and a Temp Guard multi-tab battery cell for improved thermal control, lifespan, and safety. Plus, it supports plenty of fast charging protocols, so whatever phone you've got, you'll be covered. I mean, we tested it with our Galaxy S25 Ultra and our iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it charged the Galaxy in just an hour and 10 minutes, while it charged the iPhone in 1 hour and 48 minutes, both pretty impressive. It has one USB-A and two USB-C ports, and what's super cool is that this lanyard over here actually doubles as a cable, which means you don't have to carry an extra cable around. It's a USB-C to USB-C cable, and it can withstand up to 13 kilos of pull strength, and it has more than 11,000 bends. Feel free to count that. The best part is that you can get this for just $29.99, and it adapts to your style with different colors like black, pink, and even blue, plus other multiple colors coming soon. So be sure to check the description for more info. For video quality, the iPhone has very stable exposure, but the colors, even though they do look pleasing, are a bit too warm. Both Vivo and the Galaxy have more accurate colors, but both have some unstable exposure switching, while the Galaxy shows a lot of noise on top of that. However, for audio, both the iPhone and the Galaxy have some echo, whereas the Vivo actually suppresses it very well, making my voice sound loud and clear. Top quality video footage is absolutely crucial to have on your smartphone. So let's put these beasts to the test and see which one does it best. For maximum video formats with the main camera, the iPhone can film up to 4K at 120 FPS, while both Vivo and the Galaxy go up to 8K at 30 FPS. For our comparisons though, we always film at 4K 30 FPS. Here the Galaxy looks a bit too dark, but interestingly enough, it's the only one that truly captures that neon sign correctly. Both the iPhone and Vivo look pretty good overall, but once again, Vivo makes my dress look a bit blue, while the iPhone keeps its color perfectly accurate. Indoors, on the other hand, both the iPhone and Vivo have a slight cold tone, and the shadows in the background are a little too bright. This time though, the Galaxy, even if it might appear a bit dark, actually represents the real look of the scene with impressive precision. Moving on to portrait video, all these phones can record at up to 4K 30 FPS in this mode. As before, the Galaxy delivers a rather dark video, and the blur effect doesn't really kick in properly unless I'm super close to the camera. Vivo, yet again, changes my dress color, while the iPhone captures its black color correctly. That said, Vivo still offers a slightly more natural background blur, so for us, it's pretty much a tie between these two. For ultra-wide maximum video resolutions, the iPhone can output 4K 60 FPS, Vivo hits 4K 120 FPS, and the Galaxy an impressive 8K 30 FPS. But as we've mentioned before, all our videos are filmed in 4K 30 FPS. This time around, all videos look very similar, and they all offer good detail. However, both the iPhone and Vivo have a slight green tint. The Galaxy, on the other hand, boasts a more realistic color temperature and overall ambience. Indoors though, Vivo gets an overly cold white balance. Both the iPhone and the Galaxy are closer to the scene's real colors, but the iPhone absolutely nails it this time, correctly capturing the gray color of the curtains on the left. And just as a quick note, as you've seen so far, the Lumix always delivers very sharp images and that creamy background blur. However, its white balance and tone can widely differ from shot to shot. This is because material captured with these types of pro cameras is mostly made to be edited in post-production. Buttery smooth video footage is an absolute non-negotiable, so let's see which one of these gives us the smoothest results. While walking, honestly, all phones deliver really good stabilization with no strange camera shake or annoying focus hunting. So for us, they all earn 3 points. While jogging, once again, all three phones perform very impressively. However, we have to say that Vivo is just a tiny bit more shaky in these conditions, so you might need to further stabilize that footage in post. We've come to one of the more exciting categories that I know you've been waiting for, zoom. So let's zoom in to the highest possible and see which one gives us the most details. Here, the iPhone comes with a 12-megapixel periscope telephoto with 5x optical zoom, and Vivo packs an impressive 200-megapixel periscope telephoto camera with 3.7x optical zoom. The Galaxy, however, comes with a dual setup, a 10-megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom, and a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom. Here's how all phones stack up at optical zoom levels, with the Galaxy using its first telephoto lens. Next up, here's how the Galaxy's second telephoto compares to the rest. Pushing it to 10x digital zoom, Vivo offers the sharpest image while also delivering those characteristic punchy colors. At 20x digital zoom, the iPhone gets very blurry and shows a lot of noise. The Galaxy is definitely sharper, but Vivo offers the most detail by far. Finally, at maximum zoom levels, Vivo, with a little AI help, really pushes the boundaries of how good a deep zoom photo can look. It also clearly shows how flexible a phone camera can be, as our Lumix just simply can't get that close without a dedicated deep zoom lens. Slow-mo is not a necessity to have on your smartphone, but it's definitely a cool feature. So let's put them to the test and see which one gives us the nicest results. For this mode, we always start by testing the absolute maximum resolution available, which is 4K at 120 FPS on all devices. We have to say they all perform pretty well here, not skipping frames. However, both Vivo and the Galaxy are a little shaky, whereas the iPhone is completely stable. Next, we test the absolute maximum FPS each phone can handle, which is also identical across all phones at 240 FPS and 1080p resolution. Now, there's something extremely strange here. Vivo has this jello effect that you can clearly see on our videographer Arnaud's feet as he jumps. Our best guess is that Vivo is interpolating artificial frames, meaning it's not actually recording at a true 240 FPS, but generating frames to make it look like it is. We can't be 100% sure though, but either way, it just looks kind of weird. We've come to macro mode, which means it's time to get up close and personal. At a short distance, the Galaxy unfortunately looks way too cold, and its photo also has some heavy over-sharpening. Vivo looks similar to the iPhone, but the saturation is a bit too high. We personally prefer the iPhone's colors here. Now for macro zoom, this time the iPhone looks pretty similar to the Galaxy, and while there are some exposure differences, they both do a good job. However, Vivo, it looks absolutely amazing, delivering a really shallow depth of field, making the flower really pop out. So finally, let's take a look at a few low-light examples and see how these devices handle darker conditions. Here, the Galaxy looks extremely hazy with very flat shadows. Both the iPhone and Vivo look quite similar, but Vivo captures lots of detail and has a bit less noise than the iPhone. We have to say our Lumix has similar colors to the Galaxy, but both exhibit a heavy green tint. Switching to ultra-wide, the Galaxy once again picks a rather incorrect white balance. Again, the iPhone and Vivo look similar, but Vivo captures just far more detail and its colors look pretty on point. In portrait mode, we have to say we kind of see a pattern already, since for the third time the positions are the same, with Vivo delivering the best representation of the scene. As for our Lumix shot, it looks extremely rough this time around. Moving on to the telephoto lenses, the iPhone looks way too soft, lacking plenty of detail. The Galaxy has a bit more detail, but again, its colors are off. Vivo, however, has tons of detail, yep, again, and its colors look very pleasing. For video with the main cameras, the Galaxy just keeps on selecting an overly cold white balance. Both the iPhone and Vivo have very similar colors and very good dynamic range control, but the iPhone is extremely noisy and soft, while Vivo is impressively sharp. Finally, for ultra-wide video, the iPhone captures the most detail in the shadows, but its colors are not realistic. Both Vivo and the Galaxy look much better here, but they do lack some shadow detail. Alright, let's do a quick summary and see who the winner is. Our scoring system is based on order of importance, giving higher percentages to more popular categories like wide, ultra-wide, portrait, and video, while assigning lower percentages to less popular categories such as audio, zoom, slow motion, and macro. For example, in photos taken with the wide lens, the iPhone scored 4 general points, with 20% of this equaling 0.8 final points, and so on with the next phones and categories. So for main camera shots, the Galaxy did the best. For ultra-wide shots, the Galaxy came out on top. For portrait shots and video, the iPhone scored the most. Stabilization was a tie between the iPhone and the Galaxy. Front camera performance was taken by the iPhone, whereas for audio and zoom, Vivo performed the best. Slow motion was another category won by the iPhone, while for macro, the iPhone and Vivo tied. Finally, for low light, Vivo was the best of the bunch. After counting all the points, in third place we have the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which showed really good performance with its main and ultra-wide cameras. In first place, we have the Vivo X200 Ultra, which was in a very fiery battle with the iPhone, as Vivo won by just 0.05 points. And while Vivo captures amazing photos, video and front camera performance are still something the iPhone just does better, hence its very close second position. As you can see, this really goes to show how good phone cameras have become. In some scenarios, they deliver even better photos than our Lumix. Another huge benefit of phone cameras is that they just fit right in your pocket and you don't need to carry extra lenses or a tripod to capture multiple photography types. We're curious to know which one of these devices is your favorite and why. Please let us know in the comments. Oh, and of course, links to all of them can be found in the description below. Before you go to the Pink Pony Club, be sure to leave a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe, as we are always testing new devices to help you decide what is best for you. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.